Hey y'all, it's Ashley. I'll be balling with the bball basketball show, and I'm gonna review the WNBA draft. I think it could have been a little bit more popping, but overall, I'm gonna tell you the winners, the losers, give draft grades, but I did it a little bit different this year. I'm gonna do the screen share so we can watch highlights of the players together, and see a little bit of BALLIN highlights, like their little own mixtape, because I was watching the draft and sometimes they showed different clips of the players, so I was like, let's just watch it together. And so, without further ado, we're going to start with Paige Bueckers. She's the one that a lot of people know, and she's the number one pick, went to the Dallas Wings, and I think this, Wings squad can, make the playoffs with Enrique 414, you already know, and, but Carrington as well, and Nyla Smith, and, they did lose, different players, like Sabale, but let's watch some highlights. Oh, I saw these highlights of Paige Bueckers that I really did like. They was like talking about her. Well, I did ESPN and NBA TV, but let's check out these highlights. Replay. So they're showing different clips of her passing. She's pretty much a do-it-all guard, Score on all three levels, can pass, doesn't make many mistakes, make her teammates better. A lot of people think she should be a little bit more aggressive, But now, Enrique don't have to have all that pressure on her. Now, someone else can be a playmaker, And they was saying that Enrique was like leading the NBA in like most shots unassisted. That means she created her own shot. No one's really creating for her. And I was like, what? Like, I know she's a shot creator, but I also was like, oh my goodness.
On the clock, over the last two seasons.
2023
made the semifinals last year. Struggled, changes to general manager and head coach with Kurt Miller and Chris Cortez, and key departures of some big-time players. On the clock, over the last two seasons. 2023.
I think that was a good thing that the WNBA does. They kind of recap, a little bit of the team's, past season, what they need. So I think they definitely do that right. But, it wasn't too much excitement after Paige Bueckers, to be honest. Just keep it a buck.
Paige Bueckers, University of Connecticut.
Y'all saw Gino was in the house.
Mom and dad,
AZ Fudd was in the house.
And Paige Bueckers, teammates all here in San Diego. She is officially the number one pick of the 2025 WNBA draft.
And you saw her give Coach Oriana a hug, and at the beginning of the season, Gino Oriana said Paige Bueckers was the most unguardable player in America. Why is that? Well, she can drain shots from deep. She can get to any spot on the floor where she wants to go, and she has been one of the most efficient players we've seen in the history of women's college basketball over the course of her career. A 50, 40, 85 player.
Nice touch pass.
Facilitate for her teammates and score. The only pitcher in the last 25 seasons averaged 15 points a game and those field goal percentages, the efficiency. To me, one thing we always say in sports, in any sport, it doesn't matter what it is that
definitely efficient, definitely efficient, and also I love the swagger that she plays with. She's so smooth, and so I don't think they're gonna contend for a championship this year, but I think she's gonna be really great for that franchise, and they're gonna make the playoffs. And I definitely, just them drafting her alone gives them an A in my opinion, but they drafted a lot of other players that we'll get to, like Madison Scott, that I think deserves another A. But so she won the Nancy Lieberman Award twice. 2021 National Player of the Year. She led UConn to 4 Final Fours, averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. She won the Wade Trophy, the 2025 one, and of course, All-American first team, 3 times, and just a little bit of background on Paige Bueckers, but I think overall it's gonna be dope. Now, there was a lot of international players, and the next one that we're gonna get to, we're gonna show some highlights of her too. I hope I pronounced this name right. Dominique Malonga. She's the youngest player on France's 2024 Olympic team that won bronze in Paris. She played pro in France's top league, and she's one of the most, exciting players. They're calling her the Wnba of the draft, like Victor Wembanyama. She was dunking at like 16 and stuff. And I was like, hey, if you can dunk, just the way she can run the floor, NBA TV was showing her guard perimeter players, and I was like, are we serious right now? She's guarding perimeter players like that. I was a little shocked. I was like, oh, sneaky, snaps. And so I feel like Storm got a good one. She could pass, she could dribble, for 6'6". I was like, yo, this girl got a lot of potential at 19, so I was like, yo, I would draft her number 2 as well. I would, because you can't teach size and length. You can't teach any of that. Oh, there's another one. There's another video I wanted to show you guys of Dominique. I took a lot of pictures of like different things that I thought was, key. They were showing a lot of players that forego the draft, like, Lauren Betts from UCLA, Asia Fudge, she was in the house. For Asia Fudge, she was like one of the most, best dressed there, and she wasn't even in the draft. Obviously Flage, LSU, the Gamecocks got a good one in Lassen, man. And of course TCU, they got a good one as well. Yeah, swish. So a lot of people were surprised with Olivia Miles,
Dunk the basketball.
Yeah.
She can drive from the high post and score. You see a little turtle pitch around fadeaway on one leg. This young woman has guard skills, incredible length. You see her facing up as well. Her best things are ahead of her. She can be a menace on the defensive end as well. But Seattle, you are getting a good one.
She's played professionally over in France.
Dunk the basketball. She can drive from the high.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about Dominique. I definitely would give them an A too, only because I feel like there was a lot of players obviously that forego the draft, so I don't think some teams were prepared for that. And I feel like if you gotta go off of, some players definitely went with international experience, right? But sometimes you gotta go with who has the most potential. And I feel like 6'6" can dunk, athletic, she got the speed, she can guard. She's almost like 6'6" to me is like you can guard multiple positions, So I feel like they got a Nate just off of the potential alone. And even if she doesn't really succeed, I feel like no one will blame the Storm for drafting her, at 2. She's only a teenager, but still, I feel like, hey, you gotta give it up for the Storm. And the Storm, I also liked it. The other picks they got Sundell, and I thought she dropped a little bit, So I think overall, I'll give the Storm, an A. And, that might be too generous for some, but I still feel like because think about it, Olivia Miles might have won number 2. Lauren Betts might have won number 2, right? You feel me what I'm saying? So, it's not the Storm's fault, and I feel like they got a good one. So, the next pick is from the Mystics, bro. The Mystics got a lot of players. They got a lot of players. They have a lot of picks. So they got Sonia Citron. And, I didn't know much about her. But, from watching the clips, I was like, she's very versatile. So, ACC, all defensive team. The first team. Notre Dame to 4 Sweet 16s, 14 points, 5 rebounds in her career. She was a finalist for the Cheryl Miller Award. So let's check out some highlights of her. Let's see if I can find them. Oh, they definitely talked about Elena Deladon retiring. Elena Deladon was one of my favorite players. Like, obviously, I'm just glad she is a champion, but it was, shocking that she only played, 10 years, but I think it was the seasons that mostly robbed her,
This is a young woman who is 6'1". She brings size and length, is a sneaky good defender, range out to 3. She's able to make big shots. You saw that one game against NC State earlier this year. She's really good at baseline cuts, getting to the rim. She reminds me kind of a Rebecca Adams type player. That size, who can make threes, who can defend you as well. Another player was a really... this is a young woman who is 6'1".
They're going to have 3 of the first 6 picks. Last year, lost their first 12 games, played better at the end. They made changes. The general manager, head coach, heading into this season. And yeah, they have pick 3, pick 4, pick 6. As we set the table, they're going to have 3 of the first 6 picks.
Yeah, like I said, I like the recap of last season for a lot of teams. And, I definitely think the Mystics had a good draft because, with all of these picks that they had in the first round and stuff, it's almost like they couldn't really go wrong, in my opinion. And Citron, it seems like she's an all-around 3-and-D. She can defend, she can shoot, she can pass. Kiki, a lot of people know Kiki.
And she improved tremendously, Ryan, over the course of her college career, first at Stanford and then at USC. She's a really good rim runner, is terrific in space, facing the basket, has a shot out to 17 feet, can drive and finish inside, and we've seen her also dabble at times, stepping out outside the three-point line. A really good free throw shooter, so you expect her to have the potential to add the speed of her game at the pro level. And when she improved,
and we definitely saw her ball when Juju went down. And I definitely like her midi, that mid-range. Like they said, she's a good rebounder. If you think about it, the Mystics got a lot of good options because, they have Aaliyah Edwards. So you could pair both of those in the front court, But I feel like they also got Brittany Sykes, who's a good vet. I feel like, they got a lot of good options, that can come off the bench and do all of that. Oh, she's the Pac-12 most improved, right? She got the Big Ten title, #1 seed. But yeah, I like her versatility. She doesn't really have a 3-ball, but like you can always expand that range as as you get older. A little bit like Asia Wilson. You can always expand. But I like what the Mystics did. Like I can't lie. I definitely would give them an A. Now you might be saying, hey, why are you giving everybody an A? Like I said, I feel like if you got players that because like a lot of them got international players, and I'm not hating on the international players at all. I just don't know a lot of them, right? So if you got, the players that played in college, I'm more likely to give you an A. I don't know too much about the international players, but also they had so many picks. It's like, how could they really go wrong? It's like, how could they really go wrong? Oh, they have this 6th pick too. I'm not skipping Valkyries. I'm not skipping y'all. But we might as well go with, the Mystics right now because, they were on a roll. They got Moore. I also like that Moore was wearing an outfit, right? That Russell Westbrook designed it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. They linked up, they really linked up. But before I go to more, there was some more highlights on NBA TV that I saw that I liked. So these are some more Citron highlights. Her jumper. If you notice, what I like, she might have been overlooked by Miles and Hannah, if you think about it. But let me show some more. I'm gonna show Kiki highlights as well. I do love highlights that show the circle underneath them like it's NBA 2K. I really do like that. I cannot front. I like that when they target the players, but like it. Look at what she does. She's like, clear out, get out, let me do my fadeaway thing. Swish. So I gotta give them an A. Now, if you disagree with any of my picks, my grades, just let me know in the comments. Like, no, disagree, blah blah blah. Like we can agree to disagree, we can agree to disagree. It's all good. So they're gonna show some more highlights, but let me talk a little bit about more. One of only 3 D1 players with 2,000 plus points, 800 plus assists. Only Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu did that, right? She finished at Connecticut, not Connecticut, but Kentucky. What go Wildcats? But first, she started her career at Virginia Tech. She's been to the Final Four. She's won All-American honors in 2024 and 2025. Career highs, 19 points, 6 assists. But let's just round that up to 20 and 7. We might as well round it up, man. But there's some more highlights of more.
Joined a long list of UConn.
Oh, they definitely showed a lot of Diana Taurasi highlights. Oh, this is key. Look at this stat. I thought this was important too. 105 out of 132 are going to be free agents. That is key. So, even draftees, it's hard to make a team, y'all. They don't have a lot of spots. And think about it, like a lot of teams are focusing on free agency next year as well. So, it's tough for draftees.
Such a great ability to manipulate the defense. She doesn't just react to the defense. She makes the defense shift where she wants them to, and she can find her teammates. She creates her own shot. The way that she creates space with the ball in her hands, to me, she is going to be an excellent pro. It's a great pick for her.
Yeah, she did not realize that she's only 5'6", so she was able to get her shot.
Such a great ability to manipulate the defense. She doesn't just react to the defense.
I'm hard over height any day, you know. It's definitely, that's why Becky Hammond was like, you know, she definitely, you know, was one of those short players that was undrafted. But I say if you show the ability to, you know, score in college, I feel like you're gonna find a way to score. You know, even if it takes you a while, you're gonna find a way to navigate, you know, against the trees. I feel like she got that basketball IQ, that mentality, and you need that mindset. You know, she don't got the height or the length, but she knows how to create her shot. And if you can adapt and find ways to, you know, score against big, taller players, you know, I feel like the film is going to be her friend, you know. She's, you know, it's going to be her friend. But I feel like also, another thing about short players is this. You have to be able to do multiple things on the floor. If you're just one-dimensional and you short, that ain't going to cut it. You got to be able to have court vision, be a playmaker, a shot creator, you know. Can you score different ways? Get to the line, get layups, get the mid-range, get the three. You got to be able to do all that, because if you just one-dimensional, it ain't gonna be good. But I want to go back to the 5th seed Valkyries. I may not pronounce this right. Just recite. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a lot about the overseas players, but I know they can ball for sure.
So a little bit of a surprise betrayal. Here's a southpaw shooter when you watch her on film, and wow, is she talented.
So one thing we didn't talk about with this Golden State Valkyries team is how they are heavy on international players. You say today is a dynamic electric.
So a little bit of a surprise.
So she's a lefty. I do like lefties, because lefties, I feel like they are hard to guard, because like you're not used to guarding like lefties all the time. So I feel like, you know, they definitely got, you know, an advantage. But this is what I learned about her. She's poised. She can get in the paint. She's a good shooter. And she started pro at 13, y'all. 13. That's big. Pick and roll, can pass, good size. From Lithuania. And so, if you guys watch the expansion draft, you will know that the Valkyries definitely have a lot of international flavor. Almost every pick was international. Like, yeah, they got, you know, Thornton. Yeah, they got Kate Martin, but a lot of it was international flavor, you know, from France, from Europe, everything, right? So, let's go with okay, I know what I want to do now. Okay, so next is the Suns drafted Moore, right? Anissa Moore. And I like her. Double-double, y'all. And the only one that had more than her was Courtney Paris. Y'all remember Courtney Paris? Y'all remember Courtney Paris? She was that twin. Oh, they showed the Suns and how they lost a lot of free agents. If you notice, they lost a lot of free agents. Dallas, and, you know, ATL, Indiana, and Phoenix, right? I wanted them to win a chip, you know, with, you know, Bonner and Thomas and, you know, Brianna Jones and keratin, but it just wasn't in the cards, and so they're just rebuilding, y'all. And this, I like that they showed the projected starters, right? You know, they showed Tina Charles. Tina Charles, you know, as long as she's healthy, I feel like she gonna ball. And obviously, you know, Marina, you know, she wants to get out of there. You know, she wants to trade, but you know, what can you do? What can you do?
In her career, you know what to expect from Denise Moore. And even though opponents know what to expect from Denise Moore, they have not had an answer. Throughout her career, she is such a hard worker, skilled, can finish around the rim, works on the defensive end, can put the ball on the court. She can also have potential to expand her game out to the three-point line, which will make her even more of a dynamic player.
I'm really fascinated by Denise Moore and her game. She averages
in her career, you know what to expect from
Yeah. Here's another highlight reel from NBA TV that I liked. NBA TV, they did like a recap of it. They didn't show all the players, obviously, but they showed some of them. So, she's one of just 2 players in D1 history, right, to have 100+ double-doubles. She led that nation twice in rebounds per game, y'all. 3-time AP All-American. She won the Katrina McClain Award for, you know, Best Power Forward in 2025. And of course, LSU went to back-to-back Elite 8s. So that's just a little bit about her. And one thing that we know that's going to translate, y'all saw from, you know, Angel Reese, rebounding. Like, rebounding, having a nose for the ball, that's going to translate. You know it. And I feel like, you know, she has potential, you know. I feel like, you know, she might even, you know, resemble a little bit of Brianna Jones, you know, from the Sun. But she left, of course, right? But the Kinetic Sun, they had back-to-back picks, and so, and from what I hear, they're not trying to rebuild. Like, they're trying to do a little short rebuild, and I'm like, okay, guys, I hope it works out for you. I don't know if you can lose all of your starters like that and just have a soft rebuild. I don't know, but we shall see. So I'm not good at pronunciation of names, so I'm just gonna say S. Rivers, Sania Rivers, and a big 2-way impact player. I love 2-way players. If you can play both ends of the floor, I love you. Now every player can't do it, but listen, that's one thing I love. If you can play both ends of the floor, defense and offense, I'd be like, yo, props to you. So, a little bit about her. She's not the best shooter, right? But she can bring it on both ends. Oh, and her teammate got drafted too. We'll get to that later. But a little bit about her. Two all ACC first team defensive team in both 2024 and 2025. She helped NC State reach the Final Four in 2024, and 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. That doesn't really jump off the page, but sometimes it's not about stats in college. Sometimes it's about, the fit, the impact that you can make. And I really like her. I think she was drafted at a good spot at 8. And I feel like she reminds me of Natasha Cloud, Kalia Copper. Some may even say Flau'jae Johnson. But, she helped NC State reach the Final Four. She began at South Carolina and won in 2022. She got that national championship under her belt. So she knows winning plays, winning pedigree. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's another highlight of her. Oh, they show another, moral stat.
Was that they wanted to share the ball, have ball movement, and have a conquering defense. And I know we're talking offense here, but there were only 3 players in D1 this past season with 100 assists, 50 steals, and 40 blocks. Juju Watkins, Sarah Strong, and Sanaya Rivers. Her ability to impact the game on both ends of the floor with athletic plays like that. She is shifty, she is long, she's got great length. Her presence on both ends gives a lot of speed and energy to this Connecticut Sun team.
Sanaya, that's how you pronounce it. You know what? I was just watching that. You know who she reminds me of? Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. Oh my goodness. And remember, y'all, Kawhi Leonard always could rebound and defend. It wasn't until later where he got that offensive game, from the mid-range and all that. So, I know what you guys might be saying. You guys might be saying, how long are you going to do the draft? I'm not going to cover every pick, but I'm going to mostly cover, the first round, a little bit of the second round, but I ain't covering the third round. I'm not doing that. And here's the thing. I understand there's a training camp process to these things, but I don't know why there's a third round. Only because there's not enough spots. I'm like, why don't you guys, expand the rosters to maybe 14, 15, and then do a third round? Because it's almost like you're giving some players false hope in a way, and I just don't know if I rock with it. Now, of course, some players can surprise you and make a roster, like for the Valkyries, right? But I don't know. But yeah, I definitely gotta give the Suns an A+. You might say, well, you're. I think the Sun is gonna come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar. But no, I feel like they deserve an A, because to lose most of your roster, starting 5, and then to get, they nailed back-to-back picks, so it's like, I can't give you guys anything else. Hey, guess what? My name's Ashley, and next is LA Sparks. They drafted Sarah Ashley Barker, and that's what I like about this pick. She has 3 names. So, I'm not gonna lie, I like this. She has 3 names. She has 3 names.
On the clock, they moved their timeline over the last 2 seasons. 2023 made the semifinals.
So, these are a little bit of the outfits. I definitely think Kiki definitely was pretty dope. And also Paige Becker's Hailey Van Lith outfit was awesome. But I also think Paige Becker's did a outfit switch. Her carpet outfit was different from her, accepting, the jersey outfit. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, alright, I see what you did there. Oh, so this is Sarah Ashley Barker. Bark. She got that dog in her. But so she led Alabama in scoring for the 2nd straight season. 2-time All SEC first team. Dropped a program record 45 points in the tourney this year, guys. That was amazing. 18.6 rebounds, 3 assists. I just love these 3 names. SAB. That's pretty dope. She's definitely a bucket getter for sure. And I definitely love her fit. I gotta give it up for the Sparks. And they did cover the Sparks and the whole Kelsey Plum trade. They definitely covered that for sure. They showed this a little bit, and I did like that they showed a little bit about, the WNBA this season. So check it out.
WNBA season heading into this one. 2024, the most watched WNBA finals since 1999. This year, we get a best of 7 2025 WNBA finals. Expansion franchise this year with Golden State. Next year, Portland and Toronto come along. How about the player movement this past offseason? Some big names moving to new destinations across the board. And you know what? A lot of new coaches in this league as well. Take a look at how much movement there was, including Stephanie White going to the Indiana Fever. She previously coached with our colleagues at ESPN, one of the college basketball minds in our league, and Fever will not take.
So that was a little bit of what I saw. Yeah, they talked a little bit about, Brink and Wnba and her daughter was in attendance. Rickea Jackson. Man, I'm so high on Rickea Jackson. I feel like she's gonna be one of the best players in the league for sure.
And she can go right and left. She's a good off-ball cutter as well. Uses her strength and size beautifully in terms of absorbing contact and getting to the line.
You talk about her defensive presence. One opponent is 23% shooting from the field as the primary defender. That's top 5 from any player in the world this past season. Talk about these players being two-way presence.
And she can go right and left. She's a good off-ball cutter as well. Uses her strength and size.
Let's go to the Sky. The Sky had back-to-back picks with the 10th pick and the 11th pick. And I do not know how to pronounce this. Solvian. That's like Nikola Jokic. Or Luka Doncic. No, Luka Doncic is the one that's Slovenia. You know what? I'm going to find them. They might pronounce it better than me. Yeah, they talked about a little bit of the Sky season.
Can she be the next Wnba? Where she has the length to be able to defend on the perimeter, the skill set on the offensive end, and certainly the size at 6th grade.
When you talk about floor spacing, just look at how quickly she gets the ball out of her hands. She can shoot off the dribble, and her on the outside, on the perimeter, gives the spacing needed for injuries and no further efficiency.
Can she be the next Wnba?
So this is what I got. She won gold at the 2023 FIBA Under 18 Women's European Championship with 20 and 12. She looks pretty strong too. Got great size, And she played for France's top league as well. And the Slovenia seniors national team. Then their next pick was Haley Van Lith, HVL. Some people were shocked by it. Some people were saying, yeah, she's gonna go to the Sky. And obviously, Angel Reese was like, we're reunited. Let's run it back. We didn't do it right the first time, But I did like what I saw. There was a speech that she did, and I was like, that's pretty dope for sure. She was mentioning God and everything. And also I didn't know that traded for this pick with the links, but I didn't know that she was dating Jalen Suggs. I was like, oh.
Opportunity now for Haley Manwin as a young point guard, ready and eager to learn to be able to do it for one of the best.
And she's going to be playing alongside someone she shared before with Nnba. Those two play together at LSU. There's a connection there. There's a synergy there. The competitive edge of Haley Manwin will be so fun to watch at the next level. She is someone that loves this game so much. She's committed so much to it. And the transfer to TCU, making that move and almost finding herself again.
Opportunity.
Yeah, and Olivia Miles hopes to do the same, you know. Here's some more highlights. Obviously she's short. That's the knock on her. But I feel like everywhere she goes, she's a winner, and you can't knock that, you know. She's the first player in NCAA history to reach Elite Eights with 3 different teams, right? Louisville, LSU, TCU, averaged 17 points, 5 assists, Big 12 Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, AP All-American, 13 semifinalists for the Naismith Player of the Year, and one of only 3 players this season with 600 plus points and 200 assists. I also think that her playing in the Olympics, the 3-on-3, I think that really helped her defense and her shot creation, you know. And usually when she's good, she's on fire. She's good. Sometimes when she's bad, it's really bad. So she gotta find that middle. She can't be on her bad days. She can't be terrible. You know what I mean? She gotta. If she's not having a great, excellent game, it has to be, you know, semi-okay, you know. But yeah, most people knock her for her height, but I'm always heart over height. That's all. That's what I'm doing. I definitely would give the Sky, I'm gonna give them a B, only because, you know, I have to wait and see with this group, to be honest. I have to wait and see how they gel. I do like they got, you know, veteran help with, you know, with the Sky, but I still gotta see how, you know, the Sky plays. Oh, they did get, with the 16th pick, they got Maddie Westbeld, 6'3" all around, but she probably dropped because she has a foot issue. Played 5 years, you know. Let's go with the wings. This is another NC State, you know, alumni. Let's see if we can find her. No, this is more Paige highlights. They discussed a lot of Paige, a lot, which, you know, I don't, you know, if you wanna, you know, she's the star of the draft, so why wouldn't you show her?
Still work. How did you do that?
Oh, I really like this. I thought I'd show you guys because I thought this was like the speech of the night to me. So let's watch this.
You still work. How did you do that? In faith, 100%. God carried me through the lows of my life when I wasn't able to get up and walk. So my faith has meant everything, but also learning that it's okay to embrace who you are and walk in that energy has meant everything this year for me. Okay, good energy with Courtney Vandersleet. You can learn from her. You're paired back with Angel Reese. There's some good energy you can walk into in Chicago, right? Oh, I love that energy. We're ready. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
She's a dog. She got that dog mentality. And also, if you can, you know, bounce back from adversity, that is gonna really help you at the next level. And in life, of course, you know. So I just thought that speech was awesome. So I thought I'd share it with you guys, you know. I thought I'd share it with you guys. So this is the next pick. The wings pick, and this is why this is another reason why I gotta give the Wings an A, right? You know, she earned all ACC first team honors for the second year straight, right? They went to the Final Four, you know, in 2024. You know, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a Wooden Award finalist, you know. Honorable mention for AP All-American. There's a lot of All-American, you know, mentions, you know. I guess you didn't make the cut, but, you know. But, yeah, Azia James. I hope I pronounced that right.
The opponent who you put your best star defender on. Exactly. Have to say good luck. This young woman can just go get a bucket. The lefty can step up to 3. She has a great mid-range, can drive it inside as well. I mean, plays efficiently. She's unselfish. She can just go get buckets whenever she wants to. And again, the spacing that they'll have on the floor because of the other pieces.
She's very saucy. She's very saucy. Yeah, they showed a lot of, you know, core players from the Aces as well as the Liberty. The Liberty got Aaliyah Nye. Some people were shocked by this. She's like a 3-and-D player. She plays for the Crimson Tide, but she used to play for Illinois. Good mid-range. Well, actually, she's a great shooter, 45% from 3. But what I read is, you know, she needs help with, you know, mid-range and, you know, close to the basket shots. And so, let's check this out.
46% from beyond the arc. She made multiple threes per game this season. She can stretch the floor. She can run in transition. She sprints to the corner. Her ability to knock down shots adds another element to this Las Vegas Aces team. Broke records at Wnba for 3-point shooting and all that shoots 45.
I like that little night-night. But, so she broke a record, right? For 111 threes, a program record. And so, you know, for the Aces, I mean, all you really need is 3-and-D players, really. Oh, you definitely need an extra big, right, for Asia Wilson. But, you know, surrounding yourself with 3-and-D players, that's the best you can do, you know. And especially lights out shooters, not like 35% 3, you know, from the 3. No, she's 45% from 3. I thought that was amazing. Let's go next. Oh, this is another Wings pick.
Get excited.
Madison Scott, y'all. 4th player in Ole Miss history to record 1,600 points, 1,000 rebounds, 3-time all, you know, SEC selection, 2-time SEC all defensive team. She led them to the second Sweet 16 in 3 years, and she does a little bit of everything very well.
On the defensive end of the floor and fuel each other on that end of the floor. Her and DJ Carrington get excited on the defensive end of the floor and fuel each other on that end of the floor.
And plus, up next, pick number 15. What a season was for Cheryl Reeves' squad.
I think I have a better video for Madison Scott here, right here. Is this the better one, or is this the better one? Which one is better?
That shoots 45% from the field.
I hope I didn't upload the wrong one. I might have uploaded the wrong one. There was like 2 videos. One was 8 seconds.
Opportunity now for
longer, so I might have uploaded the. Basically,
her and DJ Carrington get excited on the defensive end of the floor and fuel. That shoots 45%.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I think I uploaded it wrong.
Could you
But I
still
still
work?
give the wings.
Opportunity now for Haley Van Wimp as a young point guard.
Because it's like
Her and Dejanay Carrington get excited on the defensive end.
gravy, you know. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. But yeah, I must have uploaded
A lot of touch and a lot of skill.
But what can you do sometimes? I uploaded the wrong one. Oh man. Oh crippity crap.
She is so good at drawing defensive attention.
Sometimes.
Certainly brings great sight.
It happens sometimes. But yeah, she's more so like a...
Say she looks like a pro, and part of that is her.
You definitely need those. I feel like she's definitely a dog, you know. Got that dog.
She is so good at.
This is the shot we were all in the building for. Watch Sonya switch on one thing.
Oh yeah, I do want to share that Caitlyn Chin got drafted by the Valkyries. Oh, and also Paige was actually telling teams, yo, draft my, you know, UConn seniors. And another one got drafted by the Lynx. Aubrey Griffin got drafted. So she's looking after her teammates, y'all. She's looking after her teammates. She said, draft my teammates. Draft them. And then what they do? They did it. They
And
listened to
plus.
me.
Well, the Minnesota Lynx
this
up
is like
next
a
at pick number 15. What a season it was for Cheryl Reeve's squad. 30-10. Picking up 11 wins from the season before. Won the Commissioner's Cup. Led by Lisa Collier. One of the favorites for MVP heading into this season was the Defensive Player of the Year a season ago. And the Lynx coming seconds away from winning what would have been a record 5th championship for that franchise. This is a team that
Nafissa Collier, she's gonna come for revenge. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but she was picked 15th. This is what I gathered from her. She can play with place. She's a good cutter, a good defender, a good rebounder. She's from Russia, and she kind of looks like, she looks a little bit like, I wonder how old she is. She looks very young, and she probably started off pretty young as well. So the Sky, they drafted Maddie Westbeld, like I said. Here's some highlights. Yeah, like I said, I feel like, you know, a lot of the veteran teams like the Lynx, I can't really give you like a bad grade. I can only give you a B because I don't know much about the international flavor. But and it's like the Aces as well. It's like I give you guys a B. Like a lot of the vets that have, you know, you don't got lottery picks, right? So it's like get the best fit for your team, you know. And for the Sky, I give you guys a B plus because, you know, I gotta see it. And the Valkyries, I felt like the Valkyries, I think they were complaining a little bit that they wanted a higher pick than 5th, and they didn't get the big time players in free agency that they wanted, you know. But you know,
Watching her and Dejanay Carrington get
here it is. Here's the video. This is the video that I was trying to show you guys. This is the 25-second one.
on the defensive end of the floor and fuel each other on that end of the floor. She's got incredible length. Put the ball on the floor, attack the rim, finish on the inside. Rebecca, you mentioned her mid-range game there. High release is going to be incredibly useful at the professional level, and she's a worker. We talk about expanding her game, and something Madison Scott really worked to watching her and DJ Karen.
Yeah, Ole Miss, they actually have a show on ESPN that followed them around this season. So you got to see, players like Madison Scott and the coach. But Valkyries with the 17th pick, they have Cheyenne Sellers. And I feel like Sellers with the Valkyries, I would definitely give them a B. I wouldn't give them an A plus or anything like that. I can't really do it. Oh, they did talk about Prince. She's attended 3 schools over 7 years. She's 6'7". I feel like she definitely could have got drafted. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, right? Look at all these things. But they said her age, right? She's 24. She's not 22. But also, it's mainly because she has, there's no charges against her. But a lot of teams were hesitant because there's, 4 different accusations of domestic violence, abuse, and when they said 4, I was like, yikes. I'm like, that's a lot, you know what I mean? That's not a coincidence. Oh yeah, that's Aubrey Griffin. She was drafted in the 3rd round, UConn champ. This is Angel Reese talking about Haley Van Lith. And, these are some of the other players that got picked in the 30s. And, oh yeah, we're going to get to, that as well. We're going to get to that. Oh, look at that kids and look at that outfit. Oh, yeah. But we're going to get to that. I thought I found, shout out to Pow Pow. Oh, and I showed this. I want you guys to see this pick because I thought this pick was awesome, showing off her heritage. A lot of players were showing off a lot of heritage outfits, and I thought that was awesome,
This is a shot. She is so good.
But
this is a shot. We were all in the building. One thing I love about her, she's not afraid of this. She's so unbothered by the physical defense. High contest and your face from another now and she knocks it down. It's like, oh, that was a lucky shot she hit at the end. No, it's not. So this is such a great, quick release. Easy to shoot. Reads the defense, goes on the screen, and then goes area, short corner.
oh, that's my dog.
This is how much we're making it at the professional level with defense.
Yeah, so sometimes ESPN went
She is so good.
they went a little backwards in different rounds where they, showed different highlights of players. So here's another highlight of them showing, more.
Drawing defensive attention and navigating at that time. 3 defenders came, escape right, and then a little step to the left. That's where she can create so much space when she goes to that left side. Again, what do you do with her? Oftentimes draws multiple defenders. She splits the screen, has a big defender coming to her.
Some of the players
still able
highlights
to loft it
over.
up and score inside. Once again, how is she going to manipulate manipulate the defense. 37 feet away from the basket, you have to come out on her. She is going to see the driving lanes, get through, find teammates, or again, the ability to score over bigger and longer defenders, and that's going to be a huge key for her in the WNBA as well. And how good is she in the pick and roll? We saw it repeatedly. Once again, the attention she draws, head up. She is going to be able to navigate, draw more defense, find open teammate, and deliver them the basketball. And you and I laughed, Ryan.
I think like there were different interviews. They interviewed Paige Beckers. They interviewed Gino.
Certainly brings great size at that point guard position. 9 double.
So, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Definitely nothing wrong with that. But I think they were trying to do a lot of, oh yeah, Valkyries, Cheyenne Sellers. I feel like they kind of was, it was almost like they were running out of things to do. So
here's Michaela Timpson from Florida State.
So since they were running out of things to do, it was a little bit like they should have made, I think they should have made like more, maybe
last season swept in the first round
interviews, you know, with everybody, more interviews, so it doesn't get dull and you have to like do different things over and stuff like that. So I think next year, hopefully next year they liven it up a little bit, because oh yeah, Jalen Suggs, you know, I think more interviews should have been placed, so it gets more excitement, so there should have been more surprises, because after Paige Beckers, it was like it went downhill from there, to be honest. But anyway, Valkyries, 17th pick, Maryland, career ranked 3rd in assists, 12th in scoring, 3-time All Big Ten first team honoree, right? An honorable mention for the AP All-American, you know. And so let's watch a little bit. She has a lot of poise, a lot of power, and she can like run the show.
She's just got great size. The way that she plays, she uses her body. She's got a strong frame, great community. It's a way to game the ball for the last part of the year.
Oh, and so they had a segment with Pow Pow, right? And I thought like they should do more segments like that, to be honest, because I feel like, you know, there was a lot of, it was kind of like a little boring, a little tiring sometimes to watch.
Last season swept in the first round by New York. 4 of their top 6 leading scorers ended up missing serious time. They have a new head coach. They also have a lot of new talent, including a couple of very talented, accomplished bigs in Brittany Griner and Bree Jones. Last season swept in the first round.
And so,
what a career for Jamaica.
these are some highlights, but they also showed a segment about her culture, which was awesome. So I'll show that.
Talked about the shooting, talked about the young women who led the nation in 3-point percentage 2 years ago. She shot 47% of the 3-point line. She's really expanded her game this year. Got inside, taking the lowers, able to hit the mid-range. On scale to top of the.
What a career for Jamaica.
And so I thought that was awesome. So I think they should have probably did some more segments like the Pow Pow one, and some more interviews, of course, because you definitely want it to be like, you know, what's next, you know, type of excitement. And it kind of wasn't like that, you know. And so I feel like, yeah, they probably should have. It's like, it's also like, but also it's like they might be wondering like, okay, are people really gonna watch past the first round anyway? So they probably wondering like, yeah,
last season swept in the first round.
Watching anyway, so what's the point?
What a career for Tahina.
But still.
I'm sure they know how they are. They have anywhere from 10 to 20 people or more at each and every one of our games. Not all games. Everywhere we go, it's a multitude of people that's been supporting her. What makes One Nations so unique is togetherness. Talk about young age, family is important, and that's like genuine and support each other, love each other. It's very important in our culture, as well as in my family, to have sports be part of who you are. They teach you who you want to become as a person.
How was born into a family known for football. At the age of 7, she hadn't yet found her sport, but her dad began including Pow in her brother Israel's 4 a.m. workouts, teaching her the discipline that brought success to other members of the family.
My dad would make me run track, be able to see what it was like to work at such a young age. It was something that always was like, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do to get where it is. It's so important to have my back. I carry it with great pleasure, great love, great support, great trust, and the only thing I want to do is make her proud, knowing that I'm doing this for them.
So I thought that was dope. So she led D1 3-point percentage 46 right in her first season at South Carolina, finalist for Nancy Lieberman Award. Obviously the Gamecocks won a title in 2024 and they returned to the championship game this year. And you know, before the SC she was a 2-time all Pac-12 selection at Oregon. So let's right quick, we're gonna do, I think what we'll do now is like run through a little bit more of the picks, not too long, to be honest. I'll probably show a little bit of the videos.
So watching her and DJ Karen
on
A lot of touch and a lot of skill.
The later picks, they didn't show a ton, but the Fever selected Michaela Timpson, and they didn't really talk a ton about like a lot of the later picks, but what I got.
Certainly brings great pride at that point guard position.
9 double-figure assist games
about this pick was when they said, so she's 6'2", right?
Like a pro.
But the thing that got me tripping, about her pick at 19 was, they said she had a motor, it could defend, right? But what got me tripping about it was
Michaela Timpson from Florida State.
At 6'10", I said, what the? I was tripping after that.
Here's Michaela Timpson from Florida State.
I know everyone successfully done our material that this young woman was still available for the Indiana Fever. They were talking about how she plays exactly the way they want to play. She is 6'2", with a 6'10" wingspan. Brian, she's a rim runner. What is Kate Clark like? Rim runner. She's going to throw the ball.
Bree Hall. She could space the floor. She has speed. She's athletic, motor, defender. I definitely would give like the Bree Hall. I definitely give the Fever like a B. I can't give them anything else, but a B. I feel like that like all you really need is like defenders and shooters around Caitlyn. They got the championship pieces already in free agency with Bonner and Howard. Oh, and she shot over 50% from 3 in the tournament, so I thought that was dope. So let's look at the next pick, the Sparks pick. I'm gonna say Fingen. She has a lot of championship pedigree, defensive anchor. She has a lot of all-team defensive team from the SEC. Semifinalist for the Katrina McClain Award for the top power forward. She played in the Final Four. She actually played in 4 Final Fours actually. And helped, South Carolina with 2 titles. Man, her career record, she only lost 7 games in her freaking college career. Oh my goodness. That's how good the Gamecocks are. That's crazy.
Say she must like a pro, that exercise is yours. 6'3", last good lane, but all of those other things, she scored inside. She's a terrific high-low passer. She's great passing to other people on the interior. She has range out to 17 feet. She does the other things, and when you watch South Carolina's practices, the one who makes in terms of player voice, say she must like a
so there was a lot of different other players selected, but I won't get into those, I just got into the main players and the Storm the Storm picked Sundell, who was a popular player but fell, and she led D1 players with total assists, right? 262. Average 7 assists. So she's kind of like a combo guard, good passer. 14 points a game. Kansas State, for her Kansas State career, AP All-American, honorable mention, right? A lot of honorable mentions, right? But 2-time All Big 12 first team pick, so that's cool. But like I said, I'm not gonna give like harsh grades for a lot of teams. A majority of teams, if you have multiple picks in the top of the draft, I definitely say an A. If you were like one of those teams that like a contender, I say you got a B+, you got a little better. But the main thing is like, can the players make the teams, especially with a quick turnaround in college, then the draft is so quick,
9 double-figure assist games this season. She had an NCAA tournament game where she has 19 points and 14 assists on the road on the big stage. She's got her mid-range game and her ability, like you said earlier, to find her teammates. Right? You talk about this as the outscorer being one that has really strong pieces to make it out of the system. Certainly.
Yeah, I feel like
she is so good at drawing defensive attention and navigating with her dribble out of it. This is the shot.
I think the more you fit around the vets, I think that's the more you'll be able to make a team, But if you can't fit what the vets are trying to do, then you're through. But yeah, they talked with Gino and his career, that was pretty cool.
Gino Marino, a big hug for his star. He spent 5 years with Paige Becker.
Yeah, they did show, I kind of wanted to show,
Opportunity now for Haley Manning.
so they showed Diana Taurasi, she was like, it was like narrating almost, like, you know, it was sort of like welcome to the draft moment, sort of. And I kind of wanted to show it because I thought it was pretty cool. I gotta find where it is. And they also gave a nice rundown of her career, but I was also wondering why they didn't do a rundown of Elena Deladon's career. Like, they talked about it. They definitely talked about it for sure. But I felt like they could have put a highlight reel together when they, you know what I mean? Put a highlight reel together.
I mean, this is a young woman who is 6'1". She brings size.
Like, you know, she's a legend.
She improved tremendously.
Just like DT.
Joining a long list of UConn greats to be drafted #1 overall. That list, of course, includes Diana Taurasi. From college to the pros to international competition, Taurasi has one stacked trophy room. Now Rebecca takes us on a journey through the GOAT's stellar career.
Diana Taurasi was drafted #1 in 2004 and headed to a Phoenix Mercury team in need of an identity. 3 WNBA titles, 6 Olympic gold medals, and 6 EuroLeague championships later, Diana is the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. Changed the game for everyone.
It's all the things I love to do. And I was living in
That was pretty dope. I really liked that. I started watching the league with, you know, Elena Beard and Diana Taurasi class, and
for 28
of
years,
course,
legends have built this league.
you know, when Candace Parker was balling with the Sparks. Can't forget the icons that made the league too.
For 28 years, legends have built this league. And now it's your turn to step into the moments. Your turn to find your way. Every sprint, every tear, and every judgment has led you to this moment. And then the name is called the game you love will become your profession. What will you do this opportunity? Lift your trophy? Build a dynasty? Build a city? So tonight, you join a community of exceptional athletes and passionate fans. It's your turn to show them what you can do. And put your own signature on the WNBA.
Nice. I'm gonna end it right there, right there.
For 28 years, legends have built this league. And now it's your turn to step into the moments that will define your life. Every sprint, every tear, and every buzzer beat has led you to
The winners, the losers. Let me know who you guys think was the best dress, who was the winners, the losers, who did, you know, A+ work, who did C+ work, you know, tried to, you know, do a little bit of the, I liked the whole, this is what the team did last season and all these things. And I also liked that they should have did more segments, like pow segments, and different more interviews, like they should have did more interviews like they did with Paige and Kimo, but they should have did more, because, you know, some parts were a little boring, so they need to add more surprises, more segments that get people excited about the draft. Not just one moment, but for the whole, you know, 2 hours it is, you know. But let me know what you guys would do to improve the draft. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. and see you later. Until next time, I'm gonna do a WNBA preview of the season. You know, break down all the winners and losers from free agency, and talk about this season that's gonna be soon. Oh yeah, and look out for my NBA playoff preview too. Peace.